The MCU keeps growing daily, with new actors joining the studio yearly, but in all our time as its fans, we never thought they could pull Tom Hanks to work for them. You heard it right. The Forrest Gump actor may be in talks about a significant villain role, and we can't wait to see which one. So stay tuned for some inside exclusives and our predictions about Hanks in the MCU. First, is the news about Tom Hanks and the MCU true? Yes, it is. If you don't believe us, go Google it. Tom Hanks is in talks to play a major role in the MCU, and it's likely to be a villainous one. How cool is that? This rumor has been circulating for a while now, a year to be exact, but according to the internet, many trusted sources have confirmed the news. And who are we to question? Plus, being the superstar he is, Tom could bring a lot to the table if he joins the MCU. So it seems like a pretty good strategic decision for the studio because, with the kind of reception they've received for their current phase, they really need more fan support and an overall boost in content quality. Let's also talk about this major villain role, which is super interesting. We've mostly seen Tom play many good guy roles, and his persona has been pretty much set. Not that he hasn't played any villainous roles, but to play a villain in normal films and one in a superhero franchise are two different things. But we can't deny that Tom's experience, charm, and gravitas give him an edge here, considering how dramatic MCU villains can be. So yeah, an interesting choice it is. And considering that the reports say he's in for a major villainous role, it means his character's story may span multiple films, just like Josh Brolin as Thanos. You know what we're getting at, don't you? Moving on, Tom's always been interested in the MCU, or he's always been interested in playing a superhero role. Isn't that cute? The actor repeatedly mentioned how he'd love to be part of the Marvel or DC universe. He's even mentioned how it sucks that Kevin Feige has never contacted him to play a role in his movies. Well, maybe Feige was playing hard to get, but if Tom Hanks ever expressed his interest in playing a part in our movies, we'd run up to him right at that very minute to make sure his slot was booked. Glad Kevin's finally seeing sense. This news seems like a dream come true for Tom because he's been talking about his interest in such films for as long as a decade. In an interview in 2013, he even said he kept trying, but no one was hiring him as the bad guy. He was super excited about whether he would play a villain against Batman. But while that's not possible in the MCU, fighting Daredevil, Moon Knight, or Captain America may be worthy alternatives for him, right? Next, here's the fan reaction to this news received. And let's just say the internet has swooped in on this news ever since it came out. Guess being the good guy in the film industry has its perks. The whole world knows how badly you wanted to be part of the Marvel Studios. And now that it's all coming to fruition, fans love it. Everywhere, theories and predictions of what character he could be cast as. But guys, these predictions have existed long before this news, so we bet there are already a number of fan art, comics, and fictional stories starring Tom as the main MCU villain. So let's look at their predictions and see what role they've picked for the actor to play in this massive superhero universe. First, he could be a Spider-Man villain. The first one is Dr. Otto Octavius. In fact, this suggestion has been growing in popularity thanks to this super cool fan art showing Tom Hanks as Doc Ock. Isn't the drawing super realistic? Drawn by an artist with the Twitter handle @RahalArts, the picture shows a really amazing Hanks, all decked up with Doc Ock's tentacles and the signature sunglasses. Honestly, if it weren't for Alfred Molina, we'd have preferred Tom Hanks to play the part. But considering he just appeared in the MCU, it's very unlikely that Marvel will bring back such a huge name just to play another recurring character. The same's the case with Norman Osborn and J. Jonah Jameson. While these have been top fan suggestions for a while, we don't think we'll see Tom play any of these soon. Instead, our bet's on the bigger, scarier villains, so let's talk about them too. Starting with the iconic Magneto. With X-Men officially entering the MCU roster, there's always room for a Magneto to join the ranks of the big bads in the universe. We've already seen Professor X in the Multiverse of Madness, and if Wolverine's entering the Multiverse saga too, there's always room for the rest of the superhero mutants to join in. And if it happens, Tom Hanks could play Magneto, a villain we've all come to love and hate simultaneously. seriously. He can be mysterious and has the perfect air to portray Magneto's complex persona, and we'd love to see him face off against Patrick Stewart. Now, wouldn't that be a sight? Next, we have Ben Parker, or, you know, Uncle Ben. We know that the MCU's version of Spider-Man did not have a Ben Parker, and that Peter's relationship with Aunt May was equivalent to the one he would have had with his uncle. But with the way Spidey's timeline's progressing, maybe there's a way to introduce his villainous arc in the movies too, just like Marvel's done in the Amazing Fantasy comics. We're not sure how this could play out, but if this happens, Uncle Ben could become Peter's greatest nemesis in a world where no one else knows him. An interesting choice, but we'll prefer a bigger role for someone like Hanks. Hold on, what about Doctor Doom? Now that's a role Tom can definitely ace. We all know now that Doctor Doom is one of the big bads of the multiverse saga. In fact, after Kang Dynasty, when the Avengers will enter Secret Wars, Doctor Doom will be the orchestrator of all the bad things that'll happen to them there, and his time to be introduced in the Marvel Universe is drawing closer, especially with the Fantastic Four movie due next year. So what do you guys think? Can he be the next Victor Von Doom in the Marvel Cinematic world? We definitely think so. After all, if he's discussing playing a significant villain, who would be more accurate than Doom? And yes, we know many other actors are also in the run for the role, especially if rumors are to be believed. But admit it, even you'd like to see Tom play this one, wouldn't you? Fans have also suggested he play Apocalypse, another F4 villain who could be introduced in their film, but he may not be a major deal considering how the Fantastic Four film will set up the next Avengers timeline. So for us, Doctor Doom it is. Moving on, he could play Beast. Another X-Men member, Beast has been played well by Nicholas Hoult in the past, but that doesn't mean we can't have him played by someone else. Now we get it, Beast isn't a bad guy here, but hey, this is a top fan pick and we're just messengers. Anyway, if there's a chance that Tom does play Beast, he could be an older, more mature version of the mutant, more similar to Kelsey Grammer's version than Nick Holt's. But while it seems like a fun idea, we'll admit it's not the best. If there's a chance of Tom Hanks joining the superhero world, we'll bet he'll be playing an unforgettable and very front center role. So while we love the Beast, we think we'll pass on this suggestion and move on to the next one on our list. After that, Nathaniel Richards. Tom would undoubtedly do this role justice, which matches his big personality. Let us explain why. In the comics, Nathaniel, Reed Richards' father, was actually a man obsessed with science, more than he was in being a dad to his son, and in his quest for power, he also creates a time platform to travel through space and time. This doesn't just prove harmful for him, it also makes him one of the versions of Kang the Conqueror, the big bad of the Kang Dynasty we're moving towards. We've already seen one version of the one who remains in Loki, but we also know that there are multiple versions of him across the universe, one of whom could be Nathaniel. This role ties perfectly with the upcoming films in the MCU, which is why we think this could be a very apt prediction from the fans. Let's also talk about him being the Beyonder. After Doctor Doom and Kang, there's one more character whose existence will be super important in the upcoming phases of the MCU, and that's Beyonder. The celestial being is one of the most enigmatic characters in the comics. He's the one who creates Battleworld and makes the Avengers fight each other, so he can study them and be entertained. People have suggested Leonardo DiCaprio for the part, but isn't Tom Hanks a better choice? It's canon if he's made to be a thoughtful yet selfish character obsessed with humans and their actions, so we won't mind if he actually does get to play this part. Finally, Tom could play Mephisto. Never saw this one coming, did you? But Mephisto may just be the biggest bad of the MCU, especially considering the supernatural turn the studio is taking with some of its upcoming releases, particularly Agatha: Coven of Chaos. We've already moved towards witchcraft and such in the MCU thanks to Wanda, and the next step can be the introduction of Mephisto. Or will this satanic character be introduced after Kang and Doctor Doom are done and dusted? We never know, but if Tom plays the part, we'll be interested in finding out. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think of Tom Hanks joining the MCU and our suggested roles for him? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.